It's the Bob Peak thing. Half hour thing. Number 7. That's a lucky number, I think. Well, welcome back for episode 7 of my podcast, The Bob Peak Thing, half hour thing show. I got some pretty cool songs lined up for today, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about them as we go. First one we're going to start off here is called Girlin', and it's kind of a cute little country song. I wrote this many years ago with Doug Midgley and our friend from high school, Jeff McIntyre. We had this recorded down at Beard Music in Nashville, and this was sung by Adam Cunningham, who, I think season 13 of The Voice, he was in top 8. So he's a Nashville session guy and also got his own career. So this is Girlin', and this is off of my 2018 country album, My Good Dog, a Doobie and You.
Some guys like hunting, giving those dogs the scent and let them hit the woods. Some guys like gambling, seeing who's sweating, knowing who's got the goods. But I like my steak from the sizzler, never bet my dough. And I got better places to go. Yeah, I go girlin', trying to catch a girl's eye. I go girlin', under a honky-tonk sky. Old school played cool, trolling from a bar stool. Go rodeoing, trying to hang on to the meanest bull on the card. Then there's NASCAR and racing those souped-up rockets all around the yard. But I can't stand manure, and nitro hurts my head. But I know you how to butter my bread. Yeah, I go girlin', trying to catch a girl's eye. I go girlin', under a honky-tonk sky. Old school played cool, trolling from a bar stool. Girlin'. Crawling through the brush, I'll be girling back at the lodge. When they're on a Texas Hold'em run, I'll be cocktail waitressing, change girl chasing. I'll be cowgirling, daytime girling, poses with the winter girl. Girling, trying to catch a girl's eye. Dang tackle box, no license, no pole, no bait, no waiters, no flies, and definitely no game wardens. Girlie.
We got on the subject of forgiveness the other day, and we were talking about, the benefit is really to yourself. At least that's from my own viewpoint. I had a kind of traumatic thing happened quite a few years ago with somebody I really loved a lot, and I felt betrayed, and I was holding that grudge for a long time. And all it was doing was just tearing me up. So I just made the decision, I'm going to forgive. And even if it's a selfish thing, it still feels a lot better to get all that weight off and just be free again, basically. So, of course, I wrote a song about it, and it's called Forgiving Doesn't Make You Weak. And this was recorded down at Beard, and Troy Johnson sang this one.
Forgiving doesn't make you weak. Jesus loves the mild and meek. Vengeance has too steep a cost. Won't get you back what you think you've lost. Forgiving doesn't make you weak. Listen to the old ones speak. Who is wise enough to judge, or strong enough to hold a grudge? My heart's on the table. Take however much you need. Take it now while I'm able to see my spirit free. Light as a feather, strong as the sun. I wanna be light as a feather, oh, and warm as the sun. Forgiving doesn't make you weak. Can you turn the other cheek? And if you find that state of grace, will you help me find my place? My heart's on the table. Take however much you need. Take it now while I'm able to see my spirit free. Light as a feather, warm as the sun. Someday I'll be light as a feather and strong as the sun.
You know, I stumbled across this really interesting guitar riff, like we all do on our instruments. We're just fooling around practicing. You hit the wrong note, and all of a sudden you go, whoa, what was that? And so I had this riff in mind for this next song, and then it just sounded like one of the old story songs, like Big Bad John, Ringo by Lauren Green, you know, some Marty Robbins stuff. And I always loved How Green Is My Valley, the Irish coal miners, or Welsh, forgive me, one or the other. But that was a beautiful story. And so I wrote this song called That's What Heaven Is For, about a family that goes through a very tragic accident at the coal mine. Kind of a combination of a lot of stories I've read about coal mining families and that. And we recorded this at Jimmy's GFI Entertainment. And we brought in Dick Bright, the fiddle player. He's kind of world renowned, to tell you the truth. And it was interesting because I'd never met him. And when I came in, me and Lisa had been to the first baseball game at Pac Bell in San Francisco. And, Willie Mays was out there, and Dick Bright played the national anthem on his fiddle, and I have pictures of it. And so I brought that and showed him. He kind of forgot about it, I think. But he's an awesome musician. And then Gwyneth Forrester is just this up-and-coming great singer, theatrical performer. She's really great. So she sang on this. We got the great Mary West to sit in on stand-up bass. And this one is called That's What Heaven Is For.
Dad was on pickaxe at King's Mine when the colliery whistle blew. It all went still down that incline. Then the sulfur rose up and they knew. Next came the dread with the screaming and the guilt of still being alive. Below 18 men stopped their breathing, lost to their children and wife. They hoisted them up wrapped in burlap where the King's man preacher prayed. Oh, good man, you're with the Lord again, and you'll suffer no more. You did your best, you've earned your day of rest. That's what heaven is for. That's what heaven is for. Rains came down all that Sunday. Black tears and whiskey flowed. Ma held Dad and whispered someday we'll lay down this terrible load. Till then I'll wash the soot from your body. We'll go through this hard life soul to soul. Oh dear man, you've taken all you can, but you give so much more. You've done your best, and you'll have your day of rest. Darling, that's what heaven is for. That's what heaven is for. Dad passed on last December. Ma barely made it through March. The walk in that gold light together, never again in the dark. Ma and Dad, they gave us all they had, till they couldn't give no more. They did their best, and they found the day of rest. That's what heaven is for. That's what heaven is for. That's what heaven is for.
Jimmy Goings played drums on that, and he and I co-produced that. So let's go to Otilla, the unclouding of Otilla Vanilla, the HeyBobby project with me and Gina Del Vecchio. Her absolute savior in this world, her love, her best friend is Robin Scott. And at one point during the musical, Otilla has a real crisis, and Robin pulls her back. And one night after a concert, Robin pulls the band back up there, and without Otilla knowing about it, she has written a song for Otilla. And this is her song to Otilla, and this is called So In Your Corner.
They stripped off your armor, but didn't know what you'd become. They tried to take you, but couldn't make you. Oh, you shake the earth on your own. Always in your corner, and our time has only begun. When hailstones come falling from the sky, I'll be your umbrella, I won't let them by. When big snakes come crawling, bad news in their eyes, I'll be your eagle, the claws are all mine. So in your corner, I'm so in your corner. So in your corner, so in your corner. Yeah, you caught me, now that you got me. Don't ever think that you're alone. I'm so in your corner, so into the good thing of you. I'm so in your corner, so into the good thing of you. So in your corner, so in your corner.
In 2006, I put out a CD called Adventures in Science Fiction, and it was 11 science fiction stories set to music. And this next one here is one of those. This is called Dead Without the Radio. This is kind of a macabre thought about what it would be like to be with somebody that you weren't really that great of friends with, and you were the last two people on earth because you were out in the desert when all the nuclear bombs hit. So this is recorded in my home studio, Dead Without the Radio.
Now that old highway kind of fooled us. The quiet came on hard but slow. Me and Big Jim and the darkness, we would have been dead without the radio. We didn't have a damn thing to say. We would have been dead without the radio. And I was wishing I could get away. 15 minutes out of Reno, 200 miles still to go. Silence filled that seat between us. We would have been dead without the radio. Not a damn thing to say. We would have been dead without the radio. No way to get away. We rode that way for a long time, till we did not care anymore. And that radio kept playing. It said na 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 na. Then the DJ screamed, Lord forgive me, and everybody get your loved ones in your homes. Then the bombs dropped and said, here's your forgiveness. And me and Big Jim in this desert alone. Now I don't care who pushed the buttons. It won't help at all to know, 'cause it's just Big Jim, me, and the static. It's gonna be dead without the radio. Not a goddamn thing to say. Might as well be dead without the radio. Where can I go to get away now?
I'm really tickled to share this next song. This is something we recorded quite a few years ago. And I started using Logic Pro, and they have this program in it called Stem Splitter, where you can take some of your old songs, put them in there, and it splits them into 6 components. Now, if you have 3 guitars, they're all on the same track, so you can't quite do it the level that Peter Jackson did with the Beatles, but it's still, you can clean up a lot of the fuzz and a lot of the bad things that happen when, of course, I wasn't all that great of a recording engineer in the first place. But in this one right here, my partner, my lover, my wife, my best friend, my business partner, Lisa Peak, is playing drums and just knocks it out of the park. She plays it great. And I'm really proud of her about that. And then the guy who got me started in music is my old friend Deter Rodenberg. And we played baseball together in high school. He was a 3-quarter throw and curveballer. I was a catcher. But one time after high school, Deter was kind of famous in high school because he was the only guy who could play Blackbird in those days perfectly. And so he was like, not just an athlete, but he could play the Beatles. And so, it's like, wow, that's high status in high school. But after we were shooting the breeze, I'd been down to look at his band a couple of times, and he said, "Hey, why don't you pick up a bass? Our bass player's leaving." He goes, "I'll just teach you how to play it, And I'd been fooling around with guitar a little bit, but we went down to Gell Music and bought a Fender Jazz bass and a Gallian Kruger 18-inch bass speaker. It looked like R2-D2. But anyhow, Dieter's playing on this recording right here also. And this is called King of the High School Ball, which I was not. But it's kind of one of those bittersweet songs about somebody who, those were the glory days, and nothing in their adult life is going to match up with being king of the high school ball. So this was recorded at OTR Studios in Belmont. Here is King of the High School Ball.
Well, my high school days got over way too quick, and those memories get better with every swing of this pick. 'Cause now I'm just a file in the Union Hall, but back then I was king of the high school ball. Well, my tux was powder blue and my hair was black. Remember, my sweetheart looked so pretty in my daddy's Cadillac. We drank champagne and danced till the roosters called, back when I was king of the high school ball. Now I'm my father, my kids they say, "Hey daddy, don't be living in yesterday. Somebody help me, I'm coming clean. I hate my life, man, I wanna jump in a time machine." When I think of how it felt to wear that crown, it makes me wanna quit my job and get unsettled down. I wanna go back to that night when I had it all, back when I was king of the high school ball. Yeah. When my friends were looking up at my queen and me, it was the best night of my life. I was a big old fish in a little tiny sea, so upon my tombstone, brother, you can scrawl, "Here he lies, the king of the high school ball." Nothing else, just king of the high school ball.
Well, we're going to finish this up with the 7th grade truants. And the three of us, Jeff Carr, myself, and Robert Cassidy, along with producer Jimmy Goings, we put out this song right here. This is called Sweaty Betty. And this is kind of like about gals that we knew in high school who would dance every dance all the way through the night, and just balls of energy. And so what happened is we were recording it, and Jeff was in the booth singing it, and we got towards the end of the song, and then he just took off on this wild vamp. And me and Robert, Jimmy are just looking at each other like, what in the world is going on here? But I think it's really fun. This is from our album, Carnal Origami, recorded at GFI Entertainment. Here is Sweaty Betty.
It's really hard to breathe.
What's that? I am sparkling.
What do you mean, sparkling?
I don't sweat, Lucifer. I sparkle. And right now I am covered in salty rhinestone.
When Betty got to throwing down the pink champagne, she danced all night at the Daisy Chain. As soon as the tubing starts to do the jerk, she hit that floor and put her bar to work. Sweaty Betty, all the dancers sing. Sweaty Betty, when she's gonna do her thing. Sweating like a one-winged honeybee. Come on now, Betty, sweat on me. Sweat on me. Sweat on me, Betty. Oh yeah, come on, baby, drip it on. Laying like a queen in the faggot sun, a call came in from the shoot and run. She jumped into a limo on the football team. The last thing I saw was windows full of steam. Sweaty Betty, all the players sing. Sweaty Betty, when she's gonna do her thing. Sweating like a red-hot honey tree. Come on now, Betty. Sunday morning, she's at the chapel, shining up her preacher's apple. Confessing every tawdry sin. Monday morning, do it again. Sweaty Betty, oh. Leaving her at the port she called Ramon, she headed downtown to the Doggy Bone. Hopped on a mutie and away she went. The driver said, Lord, what a beautiful scent. All the drivers sing. Sweaty Betty. Sweating like a Louisiana Jubilee. But someday, Betty, will you sweat on me? Oh, sweat on me, Betty. Come on, Betty. I see you frothing up there, baby. Come on, give me some drop. Come on, Betty. Don't hold me out. I know you're sweating. I need you to sweat on me, girl. Come on over here. You're sweating like a drummer. Your hair's wet. It's under your arms. It's in your legs. It's in your crotch, Betty. I want in. I want in. Come on, Betty. Give it up, baby. Give it up now, 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 Betty, Betty, Betty. Wow. Sweaty Betty.
And that's it for the Bob Peak Thing, episode 7. Had a great time. Hope you did too. Enjoyed sharing this stuff with all my friends. I'd love to hear from you. You can write me at bobpeek65@gmail.com. Small BOBPEEK at 65@gmail.com. Till then, be good to everybody you meet. This is Bob Peak signing out.